Hey everybody, Felix Staffelbaker here. I wanted to make a video about just how important of a time we are right now in EOS and why I think that things are right at that moment where they're about to turn around and for the extreme better. I was listening to an interview with Jeffrey Gundlach with Raoul Pal on Real Vision, and he was talking about Bitcoin and other, macro trends in the economy, but he was talking about his time that he was coming up and learning, and he said that he was given a task by a quant on Wall Street to go over. They were basically trying to find the most optimal time horizon for investing, from the time that you invest to the time that you sell. What is the optimal time for the best investment? And so what they did is, he talks about it and he says that they went and looked back at the past 5 years of the top performing asset. So they went from a standpoint of you already knowing what the top performing asset was going to be with 100% certainty. There was no question, because they were just reviewing data series and data sets of historical financial information. So what they would do is they would look back at these investments, and what they would often find is that for the first 2 years that these investments were terrible. They were the worst. Nobody would touch them. If you would have said during the first 2 years to buy this and hold it, people would have laughed. They would have made fun of you. They wouldn't have taken it seriously. And what he said was that if you were, an advisor or a hedge fund and you invested your client's money into what turned out to be the number one best performing asset, that your clients would basically want to fire you because you would be such a bad performer in that asset for those first 2 years. So what they found was that 5 years was the most optimal time for the top investment. Now, for a individual, so a person can hold for 5 years and it won't affect them as much as if a client is working with a financial advisor or somebody in a paid role, basically. So for them, they actually figured out that 18 months was the most optimal for running a clientele financial services type of business. But I just found it so interesting that he talked about, with financial and historical provable certainty, of what the number one performing asset was, and for the first 2 years you'd get laughed out of the room if you thought that was the best investment. And he was saying that it would get right to that point and then it would just turn around and it would just be completely backloaded with gains in the asset. So you would literally just buy an asset and it would do very minimal for a couple of years, and then within that last 18 months of that 5-year period you would just see everything accumulate to the point of, the number one performing asset. And I believe that this is what we are seeing in EOS. I truly believe that this is exactly what he was talking about, and he wasn't describing EOS, but the way that he talked about it, on how just the time frame, the setup, and then how all of the financial gains were backloaded all at the end. And what we saw with EOS is it actually come out of ICO after the bull market ended. Now, the ICO was during the peak of the bull run, so they were able to capture the maximum amount of funds for their token sale. But then, Bitcoin was done with the cycle and on the downhill whenever EOS actually launched. And now we're seeing EOS is about to go into the first bull run as a live blockchain, and we know that Block One has Voice that's going to be coming out of beta itself in February. So EOS is positioned for that exact scenario to just be heavy backloaded on financial gains for an investment that personally has almost been 3 years or more. And then you look at the next if you take Brendan Bloomer's tweets on how the next 6 to 24 months or whatever that time frame he was talking about was, that puts us basically at the end of that 5-year window. And I just think that this is literally being able to see those little types of things from not only professional investors, but the top investors in history, not just of our time, talk about these little details and their little success or aha moments, and then you can apply them to your life in your own way. When you think about things through, you can't just blindly apply things, but when you think things through and understand where things are, I couldn't be happier. I know a lot of people are really down in the dumps and not happy about EOS, but let me tell you something. This is about to change our lives. This is the greatest investment, I believe, that our generation will ever be able to be a part of. And I think that so many are going to miss out that it's just, I can't understand it, honestly. I'm not mad at anybody, and it may come off a little harsh sometimes, but I just don't get it. It's crazy. It's one of those things, like, once you know, you can't unknow. So I'm not faulting anybody, but I just can't even wrap my head around not understanding this is going to be the biggest thing in the whole world. So I just want to put that out there to just, broaden your time horizon a little bit. Understand that there's going to be ebbs and flows, and we can withstand heavier drawdowns in price because we're in this for the long haul. So I just wanted to put that out there, and amazing things are ahead, and I just want to encourage everybody to just stay in it. We're here. This is the future. This is the cutting edge. So I just want to put those out there and let everybody know that I believe amazing things are about to happen for EOS. Stoffel Baker out.